Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and welcome to another first look at one of the FS-24 default aircraft. Today we are going to look at the Saab 340, which is a regional turboprop airliner, and today we are going to fly the cargo version of it in the fleetair.eu livery. Now, Fleetair is an Hungarian charter carrier operating pretty much all kind of routes on this aircraft type. Now, the version of the aircraft in the simulator has been developed by Coronado, and we are going to check it out in detail today. Let's start with a quick walk around, having a look at the outside model and the textures, but be aware that the livery we are using is a third-party livery from flightsim.to. So starting with basic things, let's get rid of the covers and the chocks. Then we can move around the plane, have a look at the front and into the nose landing gear bay, and this is really detailed one. Just have a look at all the pipes and tubes that we have available in here. This is just looking really awesome. So as always, as we are known from Coronado, very good visual modeling. Now going along the engine, again, very nice model that we can absolutely look at. Now moving further forward to the aft of the plane. Did I say further forward to the aft? Okay, we'll just take it like that. Let's have a look at the main landing gear that we can see down here, where once again we have a good amount of details down here. Now moving along to the aft of the aircraft, this is something that I find the Saab to be really special in, as it is looking really good in that form of modeling. Oh, and last but not least, I do really like that smiley they have on the back over here, in the way the aircraft is designed with its light and the air conditioning outlet. I do like that. Alright then, back to the front, and then I suppose we are gonna step inside and prepare our aircraft for the flight. We're currently at Hof Airport in northern Bavaria, and we're going to fly over to Leipzig, which is a quick 100 nautical mile trip. Getting inside the plane, we do have the cargo hold over here, where we currently have 4 containers of cargo, and a little bit further forward we do have a small galley over here with the lavatory next to it, and on the other end side we have a little bit of stowage space, where it is worth pointing out the textures, which are really nice over here. Very nice level of detail in the modeling and the texturing inside. But now let's go to the cockpit and start preparing our aircraft. Our FO is already here and she looks ready to go, and so are we. Now before we start any of our control inputs, just a small word over here that unfortunately there is no product manual supplied for this, so my procedures in this video are kinda based on an X-Plane Saab 340 tutorial PDF that I found online, but that was all I could find. So if there is a little bit of procedural inaccuracy in this video, then you now know why. Alright, that out of the way, let's start it up, turn on the batteries, turn on the bus tie, connect it to auto, and then we can have a quick look down at the hydraulic pressure accumulators, which are looking good. Well, and then let's go ahead and start setting our aircraft up. So right battery is coming on. We do have external power available, so let's turn the external power on as well. And then we can also turn on the avionic buses, and all 3 of them. Now starting our flight deck scan, let's just go top to bottom, and the window heat is coming on down here. Then on the second line, let's display the battery temperature here for the left battery or for the right battery. It really doesn't matter too much, we'll just keep it on the left. Turn the nav light on, then we can go down over here and do the fire extinguisher test, which is looking good. And the signs are coming on. And last but not least, we go down the third row, where we can turn on the recirculation fans. Like that, and also ensure that all of the bleeds are turned on. Well then, moving a little bit further to the front, but we're not going to touch the autopilot or the radios just yet. We'll take all of that over a little bit later. So then we can go ahead and take out our electronic flight bag, where we can start to set the aircraft up. So we're in Echo Delta Quebec Mike today, that is Hof Plauen Airport. In terms of the weather, we are looking at a QNH of 1017. And unfortunately, we only have inches on our altimeter, but standard is 2992, which equals 1013, and then each hectopascal equals 3 inches. So 1017 makes a difference of 4 inches, times 3 is 12, so the QNH should be 3004. And that is now set. Alright, on the right hand side, nothing to set for the time being. Then going down here, the air conditioning is on auto and the weather radar is turned off. And then we can go all the way to our transponder, which seems to have a little bug here, and that the displays are off initially until we rotate it to on and then back to standby for a moment. That seems rather wrong to me, but hey, we'll just leave that standing as it is. Well, and then we get down into the FMS, so let's go right there. Now, we go into the SimBrief dispatch down here and view our latest flight plan, which is the Fox Romeo Fox 7394 from Hof to Leipzig. So, accept that flight plan, and then let's go onto the planner, Hof, menu, depart, and we are probably going to go off runway 26 today, and our SID would be the Tabat to Tango departure. So that's number 5 down here. And then let's go back to the flight plan. Then we fly direct to Sulet. Enter and accept. And then we have the Lipvo to Mike arrival into Leipzig, runway 26 left. So menu, arrive at Echo Delta Delta Papa. Enter that, runway 26 left is probably correct. And interestingly enough, over here we do not have that arrival. Interesting. So Lipvo to Mike, certainly not here. Let's see if we can maybe find a transition. Yeah, Lipvo to Mike transition. Alright, then we are going to take that one. We can delete the no link over here, and that is looking good. Right, perfect. So that's our flight plan already entered. Then let's go to the fuel menu. We have 0 passengers, 6,000 pounds of cargo, and all of that is looking good. Finally, let's go down to our fuel figures. And these are in kilos, so we got to convert them to pounds for the FMS, which is rather interesting because other parts of the aircraft are in kilos, such as the fuel quantity here or the takeoff data sheet over here, but the FMS is in pounds. Okay, so be it. So alternate fuel will roughly take it times 2. So let's say we have 600 pounds of alternate fuel. The holding fuel equals the final reserve fuel here. So that's roughly 400 pounds. Extra is 0, and with that our fuel figures are finalized. Okay, perfect. So with all of that data now entered, let's go ahead and find ourselves some charts. So runway 26, and we do not have any charts in here it seems. Okay, that's fine. Then we gotta go into the Navigraph charts, and then we're gonna take those. You see, the Lido charts included with the simulator are nice, but we gotta keep in mind they are made for airline usage, so flying these general aviation flights over here, yes, I know, airline, you know where I'm going with this. Sometimes it is a little bit better just to have all of this available directly. Okay, so on the Tabat 1 Sierra, we have a rather high climb gradient that leaves the Tabat 2 Tango for us. So the 2 Tango is straight ahead, and then you fly that turn over here, and then turn up to the north. Otherwise, you can just take the 1 Sierra, but you got to meet the 6,000 restriction at waypoint 019. And that's kind of the challenge over here. However, I'm fairly positive that we can meet that restriction, so let's replan for the Tabat 1 Sierra departure. Right, flight plan, menu, depart, and here we go, Tabat. No, we don't want the transition. We only have the Tango. Well, that's interesting. Okay, well, in that case, I suppose we just gotta live with the Tango. Oh, because I'm a fool, okay. The Sierra would have been the other way around. Alright, that one's on me. IFR profiles with an airspace class Echo, that is noted. And then the initial climb will be flight level 70. which we can set up here. And flight level 70 is now set. Perfect. So speed restriction of 190 all the way around. That will not be too much of a problem. Then let's see. Our takeoff speeds are going to be 102, 105, 106 at 10.5 tons, which is roughly our gross weight. So let's go ahead and set our speed box then. First of all, the first one will go to the final climb speed, which is going to be 160. Then we've got the flap retraction speed at 120 and our rotation at 105. And the speed buck itself will go up to 140. Come on, like that. Alright. So, the only one thing that is strange with this aircraft is that for some weird reason, even though we have entered our routing down here on the FMS, you can see that the navigation display still doesn't show us anything. And likewise, the aircraft does have that certain tendency to mess up its navigation, so we might need some radar vectoring here. We'll see about that. We will absolutely see about that. In any case, that is the kind of setup that we could do over here. And with all of that done, I suppose we're going to get our startup clearance from air traffic control, and I did already tell them ahead of time that we might have to go for radar vectors at some point. So at least they know what's coming at them with this aircraft. Alright then, let's give it a try. 133565 is our air traffic controller.
Turkish 1723, proceed direct Delta Bravo 471.
Come on, Turkish, do your read back.
Direct Delta Bravo 471. 102 Romeo Lima, monitor Honeycomb, jump.
Over to Honeycomb, Lufthansa 4 Romeo Lima, jump.
München Radar, Servus, Fairfleet 7394, information not available, request startup and clearance to Leipzig.
Fairfleet 7394, there's no Asus in Hof.
That's what I said.
Startup approved, cleared Leipzig, Tower 2 Tango departure, climb versus flight level 150 on stroke 1000.
Fairfleet 73904, startup approved, clear to Leipzig, Tower 2 Tango departure, climb by a SID, flight level 150, squawk 1000. And if you have it, we're ready to copy the weather.
Fairfleet 73904, roger, wind 210 degrees 8 knots, visibility greater than 10 kilometers, scattered 600 feet, broken 700 feet, overcast 2000 feet, temperature -2, dew point -4 on QNH 1017.
Fairfleet 73904, QNH 1017, the rest is copied. Thank you.
Thank you. Runner 2 Papa Kilo, monitor.
Okay, perfect. So with that, we are good to go.
Unicom, Ryanair 2 Papa
Then we
Kilo,
don't need
thank
any
you,
radio
bye.
setup. 15000 is set, and the squawk is 1000. Then let's go for startup. So, emergency frequency 1215 in here. We're listening to both 1 and 2. And the interphone can certainly come up as well.
Turkish 173, contact Bremen 126.4.
Very good. Then let's go for engine startup. We'll start the right engine first.
126.35.
Beacon on.
126.4.
And right engine start. So, engine RPM is increasing. You can kinda imagine this like the... Well, N1 and N2 combined, it's only got a single spool there. And we have 20%. So, fuel is on, we do have ignition, and you can already notice it is rather quiet over here. Even though the engine is already running. So I just kinda imagine that we are wearing A&R headphones over here. Alright, we have a good start on engine number 2, let's start engine number 1. And again, engine RPMs are increasing, oil pressure is increasing. Now, I don't exactly know when to turn on the fuel here, but 20% seems to work rather fine. That's unfortunately the problem with not having any... That's the problem with not having any manual available.
Conduction London 120.05, abide on Prep 170.
Okay, so that is looking good. Engine number 1 is coming up. And here we go, 2 good engine starts, then... Okay, ice protection is coming on, propeller anti-ice, engine anti-ice. Then we have the generators on, external power off. Airplane doesn't have an APU. And unfortunately I couldn't find any way to disconnect the ground power unit, so things might get a little bit ugly as soon as we start to taxi. But first things first, flight control track. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral. And the rudder, full left, full right, and neutral. Anti-skid on, CTOT system on. We'll talk a little bit more about the CTOT system once we're en route, and we can set 100% torque, since this is going to be a fairly short runway. Alright. Fairfleet 7394, request taxi.
Fairfleet 7394, taxi to holding point runway 26 via Alpha, report ready.
Taxi holding point 26 via Alpha, Wilco, Fairfleet 7394. Okay, and that's right up here. Taxi light on, park and brake off. So it does start to move on idle, gently. Brake check, brakes okay. Alright, perfect. So, the only problem, we don't seem to have FMS navigation available. So we might have to go for radar vectors. We'll try that once more once we're on the runway, by giving ourselves a direct. But if that doesn't work, then, well, that doesn't work. Okay, the holding point is just up here. So let's stop it right over here and quickly go over our takeoff briefing. So it's going to be a lefty takeoff of runway 26, flaps in 15, noise abatement procedure number 2, takeoff speeds 102, 105, 106, and flap retraction at 117, initial climb 140 knots, later on 160 knots. Initial climb flight level 150, and in case we do not have FMS navigation available, we will immediately contact air traffic control, ask for radar vectoring. So, just to be on the safe side over here, initially we proceed direct Hotel Oscar Foxtrot, and for that one at least we should be able to find a non-ANAF version. At least in theory there should be one. Unless they have scrapped the NDB and made it exclusively a fix. Which is of course always a possibility in Germany. Yeah, only ANAF procedures available. Okay, that's too bad. Maybe something on the en route chart, just for the sake of it. Let's try the low IFR chart. Hotel Oscar Foxtrot. Nope, it's a fix only. Even though they kept the designator of it. Okay, well, that's fine. In that case, we'll have to do it that way. Alright, once we line up, we'll try to give ourselves a direct to Hotel Oscar Fox, and either that works or it doesn't. If it doesn't, then fair enough. Okay, so then, I think we are pretty much ready. Fairfleet 73904 ready for departure.
Fairfleet 73904, wind 210 degrees 9 knots, runway 26, cleared for takeoff.
Fairfleet 73904, runway 26, cleared for takeoff. Okay, the lights are on, and
Address 71 Alpha Bravo, contact München 134.150 and show.
condition levers full forward. Transponder is transponding, and I'm overshooting my turn. Alright, that's the reason you have two pilots in these aircraft. Alright, we'll do the lineup, set the runway track,
Lufthansa 71 Alpha, monitor
and yeah, kinda like that.
Monitor Unicom, Lufthansa 71 Alpha.
So, direct to Hotel Oscar Foxtrot is number 2, enter. Look at that, it's already messing up down there. Yeah, that's fine. We'll proceed on the track, and if the nav mode doesn't engage, which I'm kinda expecting at this point, then so be it. Okay, take off.
380 von der Hotel Lima.
Power set. $80 knots, checked. P1, rotate. Ooh, gust hit us right in the wrong moment there. Positive climb. Gear up. And that warning is kinda expected. Seems to be a bug in the landing gear warning system, if you ask me. We'll disregard that for the time being.
Loud.
Okay, 400 above the ground, above the flat retraction speed, flaps up.
A lot for CC, mention radar identified, scope 2
So, climb, nav. So nav does engage.
2150
But I kinda don't trust this.
Hotel November, contact München 134.150.
Well, let's engage the autopilot and see what it does for a short moment here.
For your wing 7 November,
Yeah, not you. But you. Fairfleet 73904 passing 4,000 feet, and yeah, we just lost our on-off capabilities. Request radar vectors.
Fairfleet 73904, München radar identified, Roger, passing 6,000 feet, or flight level 60, turn right, heading 020.
Passing flight level 60, turn right, heading 020, Fairfleet 73904.
Woodford radar, good afternoon, EZ73 Alpha Juliet, direct Narox, flight level 360.
EZ73 Alpha Juliet, München radar identified.
Okay, that's basically now, so heading,
Short circle for EZ73 Alpha Juliet.
and then we'll just switch over to VOR over here so that we don't get any nonsense indications. Okay, set standard. Standard cross-check, passing level 65 now. Checked. Alright. So, FMS failure on the first flight. That is like my experience with the 737 MAX. In any case, at least we were prepared for it over here. And we finally do see, well, not the sun, but at least the top of some clouds. Okay, 160 knots is a good climb speed in this aircraft. Later on you can go for about 140 knots, which also works rather well. Okay, so CTOT off, prop sync on. We'll keep the propellers on maximum until we're up in cruise level, because, you know, because that's why. And then I suppose taxi light can go off. We'll keep the signs on for the time being. Anti-ice is all on and probably will remain so. Okay, so with that we're up and in the air. Now let's do ourselves a little favor here and start to collect some of the Leipzig charts so that we can at least measure our DME to Leipzig. So approach Schuyler's 26 left.
Comes to flight level 230.
And up here, Lima Echo Golf 1585. Let's put that active. Here we go. So we have 68 miles remaining. Now look at that. The autopilot is commanding 160 knots, but it's only flying 150. No idea why it's doing that, but it's climbing at a fine rate, so I'm not going to complain. Passing 10,000. Lights off.
7394, contact München 126.175.
126.175, Fairfleet 7394. Vielen Dank, tschüss. München Radar, hello, Fairfleet 7394, passing level 109er, climbing 150, heading 020, unable RNAV.
Fairfleet 7394, München Servus, Info Golf, choose your runway.
Info Golf will take the left, Fairfleet 7394. Okay, so 8 is on 123.955. We might as well just collect that. If it works.
Airbus 131, 2100 climbing 5000. Report time 1320.
Airbus 131, München, identify
parallel ILS approach runways 26 left. Circuit and touch and goes with departure right position on apron 1. Or 3 expected departure arrival runway 26 right runway 26 left.
Ready to copy climb out
transition level 60. Ready to copy Airbus 131. 8 knots.
Airbus 131 after touch and go, follow the Leipzig 1 November departure, climb 5,000 feet on runway track.
Minus 3 QNH 1018 hectopascals.
After touch and go, Leipzig 1 November departure and climb 5,000 runway track, Airbus 131.
Leipzig information golf. Met report time 1320 Zulu.
Interesting, they actually messed up the transmitter. Look at that. If, in order to listen to the ATIS, I had to use the transmit selector and activate that one on COM2 in order to hear something. But of course that is nonsense. Of course we want to transmit on here, and the volume is controlled by the knobs down here. So that should have controlled the volume. But yeah, we'll take it like that. I guess I shouldn't ask too many questions with this aircraft. Likewise why it's flying 140 knots instead of 160 now, but we'll just keep it at that, huh? Let's do the last 1,000 feet in vertical speed mode then.
What do you need again?
Okay, 1,000 to go.
Airbus 131, confirm you said something, Airbus 131.
Yes.
Roger.
Okay. So, let's see, maybe we'll level off. Actually, I do think we level off below the cloud cover over here. So, engine anti-ice off and prop anti-ice off. Okay, 300 to go. That normally should not give you a warning. That's only when you're deviating from the cleared altitude, not when you're approaching it.
Taxi November, Echo holding point 22.
Alright, so let's turn that weather radar up a little bit. Yeah, 50 miles should be fine. The tilt cannot be controlled, which is rather unfortunate.
Left 130, Airbus 131. Boeing 22, reduce flight level 50.
Okay, well, that's what we gotta deal with. Interesting as well is the
That is correct, going to touch and good.
radio altimeter, which is still indicating something at almost 13,000 feet. Now, in the Airbus, there is a way how you can make it show something up to 7,000 feet in the FMS. There's a couple buttons there on some of the maintenance menus that most pilots do know about. But we don't really intend to do that. In any case, let's start to prepare for the ILS approach. So that's going to be a frequency of 110.3. And 110.3 going active. Then, for the missed approach, we need Lima Lima Delta 1215. And since we don't have a DME indicator in this cockpit, which is really just why would you build such an aircraft without a DME? The only one you have is actually located down here on the nav display. Down here. But yeah, so be it. That means we gotta use the Lima Lima Delta DME 1215 on here, and then we'll have to change the frequency once we are actually past that 1.8 DME turn and in the left-hand turn to tune the GoTem VOR 1525, which we then need for the outbound leg over here. So a lot of frequency fiddling today, and that is one of the greatest threats for the arrival. For the time being, I will keep the ILS frequency over here, and then we'll have to redo this on the approach itself. Okay, so that part of the setup is done then. Let's go down into our speed chart. So normal approach is 106 knots and 120 is the clean speed. I like that. So we take a speed bug 106, 120, and well, the last one is not really needed. Oh, hello there. So something like that and that. Alright. So that is our setup completed. And you go onto the runway course, which is 263. Alright. So, not exactly the way you're supposed to fly the aircraft, but it flies. That's something already, isn't it? It is a good-looking aircraft. Someone who really knows the flight simulation industry had a lovely comment in the past about those Carinado aircraft. Because we have to say, they look absolutely awesome. But system-wise, well, this is the fourth recording I'm trying for a flight with this aircraft. The previous three all completely messed up with the FMC. So this time I decided, well, I'm gonna do this on VATSIM. I did ask the air traffic controller beforehand for permission to do this, kinda knowing that the FMS would fail. So I basically told him, well, look, we might need those radar vectors if you don't mind. And he didn't mind. So that way, at least, we can get a flight done with this aircraft. I'm not gonna go into more details there. But yeah, you kinda get the idea. Besides, don't try to use the ADF, it's not working. You can't switch any frequencies between active and standby. That's, yeah. The switch is inoperative. Makes me wonder who beta tested this, if anyone did.
German Cargo 503 on heading, stop your descent 4,000 feet.
So I did promise you that we talk about the CTOT system while we were on the ground. Now the seatbelt system is a pretty interesting one. Basically the knob on the right hand side is used to determine the maximum torque you want to use for takeoff. So we used 100 on this one because we had a rather short runway.
Fairfleet 73904, when ready, descend to flight level 100.
Fairfleet 73904, when ready, descend flight level 100. How many track miles can we expect?
Fairfleet 73904, expect around 50 miles.
Roger. Okay, in other words, when ready means we can descend at our discretion, and he says we have 50 miles left, so we need 15 times 3, 45 miles for the descent. Therefore, let's now look down at the DME, since we are more or less flying directly towards that VOR. So once we're at about 32 DME, we will initiate our descent to flight level 100. And now with all of those explanations, I'm wondering if that is actually the correct level. We'll have to ask. Fairfleet 73904, confirm the cleared flight level.
Fairfleet 73904, flight level 100.
Flight level 100, Fairfleet 73904, danke. Okay, level 100 is set. And just a small comment over here, because I see this popping up every now and then, even in the real world. Many flight simmers are asking, like, confirm cleared flight level 100. That is not the way to do it. Always ask it as an open question, like, confirm the cleared flight level. That way the controller has to look at his own plan and has to research what you wanted to clear you again. If on the other hand side you just say confirm cleared flight level 100, then the controller might easily fall into the habit of saying, yeah, affirm, cleared level 100. So that way you might introduce a loop that could cause an error in the cleared flight level. Therefore, always ask these things as open questions. Alright, so, vertical speed.
Ryanair 15 Romeo, München radar and low information Golf to expect ILS 26 right. Continue press.
Minus, let's say 1,400.
Information Golf, ILS 26 right, continue press.
And down we go.
Airbus 131, left heading 290, cleared ILS.
We'll just leave the power where it is. The engine is running just about fine, and it's not like this is the fastest aircraft anyway. I'll just take the acceleration from the descent.
Speed 170 knots or greater, maintain to 5 miles final.
Okay, so we're going down, and we can quickly check our cabin pressurization. So landing field elevation is about, let's check.
Can you confirm the heading?
Oh, very good. The Airbus guy is exactly doing it the way he should. That's exactly what I just said. Alright, field elevation 500, and that's set.
Romeo, turn right heading 240.
Right heading 240, Ryanair 150.
Alright, so, descending nicely. Now, at the moment we are still more or less heading towards the Leipzig VOR, so we can use the distance down here to determine our distance from the airport. However, once he turns us onto a downwind heading,
Jump cargo 593, speed 170 knots to maintain to 5 miles.
This might become a little bit more difficult. So, at this moment we are very reliant on air traffic control, and if they would simply go offline now, which I seriously hope they won't, then we'd be in a little bit of trouble here.
09er advisory 1228.
Nope, Lufthansa 9er is not listening. Oh, now he is. Okay. So let's just quickly go to the back over here.
Ryanair 15 Romeo, speed 220 knots.
Time for a little coffee. You want a coffee as well there? Okay. I'd surely appreciate one. Well then. Let's go back forward and close this up, just in case I do a typical landing of my previous employer. We surely don't want these things to come up to the flight deck, so let's close that door. It's a safety barrier that we should absolutely use. Gotta say, this looks great. I just really wish that it had some better systems.
Echo Bravo Bravo India München 07 contact.
Okay, 1000 to go.
Airbus 131, localize established, 26 right.
131 Roger,
And
Tower
1000 feet a minute.
121, 105, Airbus 131.
So we now have 20 DME to Leipzig VOR.
122, turn right, heading 170.
And let's just see how offset we actually are.
172,
German Cargo 593, Roger, cleared ILS approach 26 left.
Okay, quite a bit offset. I have a feeling that this vector is taking us directly onto the final approach.
There's Echo Bravo Bravo India, runway 22, QNH 1018. Throttle approved to expect departure via Mike.
Alt. So let's see what's gonna happen with our airspeed. I guess it's gonna go back to somewhere around 170 or 180 or so.
22, descent to 4,000 feet.
It's kinda interesting to fly these things, I gotta say that.
Descent course for Alpha speed 200 knots.
And I also gotta say that the weather looks pretty impressive over here. We've got the overcast layer up here, which kinda puts everything down here in a little bit of a shady mood, but especially the light on the scenery there is really great, because it happens pretty often in the real world when you've got conditions like these that all the terrain just becomes more or less. Descend 5,000 feet, QNH 1018, Fairfleet 7394. Set, 5,000 checked. Vertical speed.
München radar, low, German Cargo 455, passing 3,000.
So we'll do 1,500 feet a minute. Now QNH 1018 is 3006 hectopascals if I'm not mistaken.
Flight level 120.
Fairfleet 7394, turn left heading 350 base.
Left heading 350 base, Fairfleet 7394. How many track miles remaining?
Fairfleet 7394, 25 to touch.
Roger. Okay, that actually puts us a little bit high, so one of the good things about flying cargo, you want to go down, you do go down. Okay, 25 miles to run, that means we certainly have to go down a bit, but the good news is you can see it's descending so incredibly well that we don't have to worry about this too much. So, lights are on, signs are on, and the cabin pressurization is, yeah, somewhat checked. We'll pretend that it is working. Because this is not an aircraft where I want to button.
Contact Bremen 124.175.
124.175, tschüss.
Okay, let's switch over to the ILS frequency, see if we can receive anything. Yes, we do. Perfect.
Fairfleet 7394, descend 3,000 feet.
Fairfleet 7394, descend 3,000 feet.
Ryanair 15 Romeo, turn left.
Okay, and here is the glide slope. That makes it easy. So, 1,000 feet a minute. Let's try to parallel that glide slope.
70 knots to maintain to 5 miles final.
And then runway track 263.
Going to 2 tower, 121, 105, talk to you soon.
121, 105, bye-bye.
121, 105, we can pre-select that. Here we go.
Ryanair 15 Romeo, descend to 4,000 feet.
And we are getting a little bit below that profile right now.
Fairfleet 7394, little speed 180 knots or less.
Speed 180 or less, Fairfleet 7394.
Airbus 131,
Look at how quickly that speed is reducing.
Airbus 131, identified. Confirm touch and go again.
affirm, Airbus 131.
Airbus 131, roger, turn right heading 030.
Okay, speed 180.
Airbus 131.
Fairfield 7394, turn left heading 290, cleared ILS approach 26 left, report localizer established.
Left heading 290, cleared ILS 26 left, Wilco, Fairfleet 7394. Okay, heading 290, I'll wait until we're actually on that heading before arming the approach mode. Nicely below the glide. Very good. Approach armed. So, now the big question, are we going to enter any of those clouds? Maybe that one here. Engine anti-ice on. And prop anti-ice on.
230, intercept ILS 26 right and speed 200 knots.
Negative, Ryanair 15 Romeo, you're clear to intercept the localizer. Do not descend beneath 4,000 feet. Traffic on adjacent.
Okay, intercept only localized.
Ryanair 15 Romeo, speed 180 knots or less.
Speed 180 or less.
Okay, waiting for the localizer to come alive. Just a quick check here. Okay, 6 miles from Leipzig VOR, and the VOR is located roundabout at the final approach fix. So, here we go, localizer alive. What's it doing now? No more lateral mode, it seems. Let's try that again. Okay, not sure what it's doing there. Autopilot off.
India, taxi, hotel, and intersection Charlie or later of your choice, holding point runway 22.
So not sure what happened to my lateral mode there, it just disappeared. But we have the field inside as well.
Right heading 080.
Right 080, Airbus 10.
Fairfleet 7394 established.
Fairfleet 7394, danke. Tower 121.105, ciao.
121.105, Fairfleet 7394. Vielen lieben Dank, tschüss. Leipzig Tower, Airbus, Fairfleet 7394, ILS 26 left.
Fairfleet 7394, Leipzig Tower, hello.
Leipzig Tower von einer make sure that these have aircraft channels destination Liverpool and Hotel for what?
Station calling standby.
Alrighty, the plane has a little bit of a tendency there to deviate to the right.
Wind 130 degrees, 7 knots, runway 26 left, clear touch and go. Clear touch and go, runway 26 left, thank you.
Interesting, we have an Airbus 131, a Boeing 22. What's going on here today?
Jump tower 5903, taxi to stand 464 via Tango, Sierra 4 at Victor.
Leipzig Tower, Ryanair 15 Romeo established on ILS 26 right.
Ryanair 15 Romeo, Leipzig Tower, good.
Okay, so we had to set that frequency at 12:15 for the go-round.
Aircraft on your 11 o'clock position approaching runway 26 left.
A turboprop aircraft. I like it, that's us. Well, he's right though, we are a turboprop aircraft. That's the information that the controller scope gives him.
White Star 549, contact München Radar 126.
Alright then, let's start to decelerate.
Goodbye.
126, 175, thank you. Have a nice
I just love how wonderful these turboprops decelerate. Okay, flaps 7 and flaps 15. Fairfleet 7394, 26 left, clear to land. You're down.
Ryanair 15 Romeo, wind is 100 degrees, 7 knots, runway 26 right.
That's the thing I love about these turboprops. These things just You pull them into idle,
Runway
and they lose
26 right,
the
circle
speed
and
so
runway
incredibly
15.
quick.
Boeing 22, contact München radar 126.
Okay, flaps full.
175, goodbye.
126, 175, Survivor.
And we are clear to land.
Stage calling for clearance, thank you.
Condor 9, request IFR destination Liverpool, Hotel is remote.
Condor 9 Tango Mike, hast du nicht für den Clearance?
Affirmative, we had a reconnect due to flight simulator issues.
Condor 9 Tango Mike, but this is still valid. Report ready for push.
Roger, thanks, we report ready for push, Condor 9 Tango.
Okay, so nicely established. The gear is down, the flaps are full. What else can you ask for? Okay, a working FMS. I get it, guys. I get it. But gotta say, even though the navigation was a little bit atrocious in this flight, I have to say that the manual flying here feels actually pretty great.
And the yellow line to your stack.
Alright then, we'll do a long rollout for sure. Yeah, minimums continue. Alright then, let's reduce the power slowly. Flight onto the runway. And decrab, here we are. Oh, went bouncing a bit. Here we are. So, 80 knots.
Postman 320, line up runway 26 left.
So, I have a feeling we gotta taxi all the way to the end, but let's not block the other aircraft here. We'll just vacate over here.
Condor 9, West position 130.
We'll see where they are going to park us. I'll leave that up to our traffic
Condor 9
control.
Tango Mike, pushback approved facing east.
Push approved facing east, Condor 9, West.
Airfleet 7 at 3904, welcome to Leipzig. Where are you parking?
Well, that's the question I was about to ask you.
Roger, then Airfleet 73904, turn right on Tango and taxi to stand 205 via Tango Sierra 1 Victor.
Right on Tango, stand 205 via Tango, Sierra 1 and Victor of Airfleet 73904. Okay, so that is something I can work with. Then give me a ground chart please, so that we can actually vacate that runway. And Tango is the first to the right. So Tango, Sierra 1, Victor, stand 205, gotta be in apron 2 over there. So first thing first, let's get clear of the runway exit. I didn't want to block the runway for too long, because this plane just takes so enormously long to, or rather, it remains on the runway so enormously long, so, well, here we go. Strobes off, lights off.
Postman 320, wind 100 degrees, 7 up, runway 26 left, cleared for takeoff.
Anti-ice off, pitot heat off, and that's it.
Postman 320, clear for takeoff. Danke.
And weather radar off as well, transponder into alt on.
Ryanair 15 Romeo, welcome to Leipzig, turn right on Charlie, taxi to stand 110 via Charlie.
So, parking charts, apron 2 and 3.
Lima.
So 205 is just over here.
Charlie,
It's all the way to the end on Tango. Then he cleared us via Sierra 1, Victor, stand 205, which is down here.
Victor, guten Tag, the German Cargo 918.
Die German Cargo, very important.
Requesting clearance to Cincinnati.
It's Lufthansa Group after all.
German Cargo 918, schönen guten Tag, Leipzig Tower. Startup approved, clear to Cincinnati, out of runway 26 left, where PM 1 departure. Flight planned route,
Cincinnati,
And
nice. That's easily going to be 8 hours flight time.
Squawk 2106.
And well, it is like 3 o'clock already. So that
that
guy's got quite a ride in front of him. They'll probably be there around midnight or so.
Landing via set, flight level 70 and squawk 2106, German Cargo 918.
German Cargo 918, read back.
So let me tell you a little bit of a story of my personal history with the Saab 340.
Postman 320, squawk 1 Charlie.
I just landed in Cologne, landed into the region, or taxied into the region of the gates, when all of a sudden from the right hand side there came a Saab 340. We looked at the speed,
Postman 320, no radar contact.
and we all agreed that he easily went 50 knots taxi speed there, 50. And
3131,
we eventually asked ATC like, hey, where's that guy going? We're cleared all the way to the gate, aren't we? And ATC was like, oh god darn it, what are you doing again there, Fleet Air? That was so lovely. Especially the what are you doing there again?
Condor 36 Echo, yeah, traffic on the right and side short push, so stand by for push, call you back.
Okay, stand number 205. That's 205 left, then 205 center is the next one. Taxi light off. And 205, here it is.
Postman 320, contact München Radar 126.175. Schönen Flug.
Alright, and here we are.
Postman 320, Leipzig Tower.
Park and brake set, and
Postman
then
320,
engines,
München
feather.
126.175.
That's feather.
Tschüss.
Here we go.
126, 175, danke fürs ATC.
Fairfleet 7394, vielen lieben Dank fürs Lotsen und richte auch gerne den Kollegen nochmal mein Dank aus. Tschüss.
Fairfleet 7394, mache ich gerne. Schönes Wochenende noch.
Okay, so, shutdown. Transponder standby, and then we can leave that frequency.
Information, hotel and
Provided we can find the button. Here it is. Alrighty. So that's it. Our first flight in the Saab 340. Now, probably an experience that I don't need again anytime very soon. Until they eventually get to fix their FMS. Because then it might actually become an, yeah, okay-ish aircraft. In any case, that's gonna be it for today's flight, guys. Let me know your feedback about the aircraft in the comments below, and if you have flown it, if the FMS worked for you, be sure to put it in there as well. For now, I would like to say thank you very much for flying along, hope that you have enjoyed the flight, and as always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.